So we are going to be starting our read aloud lesson. There was a bit of a glitch when we were recording, so there will not be scholars answering questions on this video, but you'll be getting a read aloud lesson of the book that we read today with our big skill of the day. So we are going to start by reading a book called The Planets in Our Solar System. Now, first thing we always do is we identify the genre. We think about what genre this is. We think our thinking jobs for each of the genres and looking at the front cover and flipping through the book what we think the genre is. So by looking at this book, we know that the genre is actually nonfiction because it is a book with true information about the planets. Even though there's a drawing on the front, it is still a nonfiction book. We also know that our thinking jobs for nonfiction are topic, teach about topic, and point of view. So when I look at the front cover of the planets in our solar system, I think, what is the topic of this book going to be? Well, I know that this book is all about the planets and it's all about the solar system. So I know that our topic is probably going to be the planets. Okay, today we're going to be working on main idea. When we think about main idea, we think about what the text is mostly about. So I'm already starting to think that this book is probably going to be about planets, and that's going to be tied into my main idea. So as we read, we're going to look for the most important details on the pages we read to help us think of the main idea. So first things first, we're going to move on to our book. Okay. Soon you should be able to see the book. If you can't see it, just give me 1 second. Look up. Patient with me as we talk. All right, let's try that one more time. Here we go. The planets in our solar system. So we've actually already started the book. You should see it on here. If you can't see it, do a little adjustment. You should be able to see it. Okay. So I'm going to start halfway through our book where we left off. We left off on page 16, learning about the solar system. I'm going to point along with my pen so that you can follow along. The solar system has many parts: the sun, the 8 planets, the satellites, other planets, asteroids, comets, and meteoroids. The main parts are the sun and 8 planets. 7 of the planets have 1 or more satellites. 4 of them have rings. The 8 planets move around the sun. They move in paths called orbits. The drawing shows the orbits. Mercury takes only 88 days to go once around the sun. The dwarf planet Pluto takes much longer than that. It takes about 248 years. So I've actually already gone through and underlined 2 big ideas on our page: that the planets orbit and that there are some different parts of the solar system: the sun, the planets, the asteroids, comets, and meteoroids. So far I know that one of my most important details is that the solar system has many parts. And if you look at this page, you can actually start to see some of the planets and the sun, which is a part of our solar system. Now, I'm always thinking about my main idea. So I'm thinking, how does my information connect to my topic? Well, I know that my topic is the planets. And so far I've learned about the planets and other parts of the solar system. Now I'm going to be reading about a specific planet. If you look at the first sentence, you can see that this page is going to be about Mercury. Mercury is closer to the sun than any other planet, but even Mercury is millions of miles from the sun. Suppose you could fly from Mercury to the sun in a rocket, and suppose the rocket went 50,000 miles an hour. It would take more than 4 weeks to get there. It would take the same rocket over 8 years to go from the dwarf planet Pluto to the sun. So now I'm thinking, well, I know my topic is the solar system and the planets in it, and this is specifically about Mercury. So I'm thinking, what am I mostly learning about Mercury? I always look at the first sentence to give me a clue. It says it's close to the sun. It's still very far, but it's the closest planet to the sun. Let's keep going. I actually see in my first sentence I'm learning about a different planet, Pluto, which is actually no longer a planet. The dwarf planet Pluto is farther from the sun than all the planets, but it isn't always. From 1979 to 1999, it was closer to the sun than Neptune. From 1999 to 2250, or 2050, whatever you call that, Pluto will once more be farthest from the sun. So now I know by looking that Pluto is farther than all the other planets. It's also very small. Now, without even looking at the words, I'm going to actually move them. I see Neptune and I see a boy. When I'm thinking about a page like this, I'm thinking, what do I know without reading? I know that he's wrapped up in a scarf and some kind of blanket and hat. He's got some hot cocoa with boots, so he's probably very cold. Neptune is the farthest planet from the sun. That is why it's the coldest planet. Temperatures on this planet are about 328 degrees Fahrenheit below zero. That's much colder than any place on Earth. Even the South Pole never gets that cold. So now I've learned that Neptune is a cold planet that's very far. So now I'm thinking about all the details I've learned so far. I've learned that there's lots of parts of the solar system. I've learned that Mercury is very, very hot. I've learned that Neptune is very cold. I've learned that Pluto is very small. So I'm learning all these big details about this big topic, the solar system. Let's continue to read. Oh, look at Mercury. Very hot there. Mercury and Venus are the hottest planets. The temperature on Mercury reaches 600 degrees Fahrenheit. Sometimes it's much colder. On Venus, the temperature stays around 860 degrees Fahrenheit, so I can see that it's a very hot planet. That's another important detail. Plants and animals cannot live on Mercury or Venus. They would burn up. They cannot live on Neptune either. They would freeze. Jupiter and Saturn are also very cold. Of all the planets, Earth is the only one where people live. We think no other planet in our solar system has plants or animals of any kind. Earth is the life planet. So now I'm thinking, well, what did I mostly learn about Earth? I see trees, I see grass, I see animals. I know that Earth is a place where animals and plants can survive, unlike the other planets. Earth is a middle-sized planet. 3 of the planets are smaller than Earth. They are Mercury, Venus, and Mars. 4 of the planets are larger than Earth. They are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Jupiter is the biggest of all the planets. It is much bigger than Earth. Suppose Jupiter were a large hollow ball. Over 1,000 Earths can fit inside him. Mercury is the smallest planet. It is much smaller than Earth. More than 24,000 Mercuries would fit inside Jupiter. So when I'm thinking about this page, I'm thinking about all the different sizes of the planets. This page tells me a lot about the sizes, the big planets, and the small planets. And here it shows just how big Jupiter is compared to all these little Earths. Earth is the most important planet to you and to all of us. That's because it's the planet where we live. It is not the biggest planet in the solar system, nor is it the smallest. It is not the hottest or the coldest. Earth is about in the middle, and it's just right for us. Which connects back to that other page where we learned that Earth is an important planet because that's where living things can be. So friends, I'm going to turn off our document camera, bring it back to me. Okay, so in our read aloud lessons so far, we've read a book where we got to think about a topic and some important details. So let's think back to our topic, the solar system, and all of the important details we learned. That Earth is a life planet, that there's some hot planets like Mercury, and there are some really cold planets like Neptune. We've also learned that planets are all different sizes and even some much bigger than others. We've also learned some important information about how far the planets are from one another. We've learned that Earth is the only place where humans and animals and plants could live. So we've learned that the main idea of this book is the solar system and all of the important pieces of information we learn about it, such as the sizes of the planets, the temperatures, and what can be on each and every planet. So friends, in today's lesson, we talked about main idea. We read a book, we finished a book, we thought about the topic and the important details. So for your independent practice, you're going to be actually doing a blind passage about a planet. So I can't wait to see how you do.